Okay, everybody, the time has come for us to talk about the first part of today's lesson. It's all about U.S. high schools, and the title is The ABCs of U.S. Grades. A lot of times when we talk about the ABCs of something, we're talking about the basic information that you need to know about something. So this is all about the basic information regarding how schools give grades to their students in the United States.
That's right. So here's a situation we're going to be explaining to you so you can kind of picture what it's like in your mind. You've just finished your first test in an American school and you're eager to find out what you got, what your score is. That's very exciting. That's what eager means. If you're eager, you're excited to find out some sort of information, or maybe you're looking forward to a particular date. Maybe your birthday's coming up, or maybe Chinese New Year and you get vacation. Well, you can feel that way after you've taken a big test, especially if you study hard and you want to see if you got an A or 100%.
Well, you might be getting an 80%. Or maybe even a 90%. Of course, it would be best if you could get 100%.
Yeah.
That's the best. Well, the teacher hands you back your test. That means the teacher returns your test to you, and it says, B, good job. B, what's that supposed to mean? The letter B is there, and the teacher says that's a good job.
Yeah, it's not great, but it's good. Now, that's our system in America. We go from A to B to C to D, to F, which you never want to get ever. Now, A is very, very good. B is good. C is average. D is not very good. And F is terrible. It means you failed the test. You'll probably either have to take it again, or if you get an F in a class, you're going to have to take that class one more time.
So this is a grading system in America, and it's a system that you'll have to get used to. A system is a set of rules in which something is done. It's a process. So this is the system that they use in America: A, B, C, D, and F. And in other countries, they probably use different systems.
Now here in Taiwan, of course, we use percentages instead of letter grades. That's what we call our system, letter grades. Now a percentage is just a part of 100. So if your test had 100 points possible and you missed 20 questions and each question was worth 1 point, you of course got 80% or 80 points. It's the same thing. Well, now, we just don't do that. We use letters for our grades instead. We often talk about our grades when we're in the U.S. Those are the scores you get on a test or an assignment or even in the whole class.
So we have those three words: grades, marks, and your score. The score is usually like a number, maybe your score on a test or something, and the grade or the mark in America usually is represented with a letter, as we've been talking about.
Yeah, usually in the U.S., of course, we don't use the word mark. That's more British English than anything else. I've never heard mark used in the United States.
Well, I've heard it, but it's not very common. We use grade or score more often.
Yeah, we do. Now, grade is our word power word. Let's take a closer look.
Word Power.
Hi, welcome to Word Power. Today's word is grade. Today, we read that most high schools in America use letters for their grades. Grade is a noun. It means a mark that students are given for their work. For example, the teacher said that I received the highest grade in the entire class. Grade can also mean the school year a student is in. For instance, my little brother is in 4th grade this year. The word grade can also be used as a verb to describe the act of giving a score. For example, our teacher will grade the tests tonight and return them to us tomorrow. That's all the time we have for Word Power. Thanks for listening.
So again, we're talking about grades, and if you get an A, that means you get about 90 to 100% of the score, and that's the best letter grade that you can get.
Now, the letter grade B through the letter grade D, those two make up the scores for between 89% and 60%. To say something makes up something else, you're just saying that's what it's composed of or formed of. For example, you could say there are some countries that are made up of lots of small islands all together. So that's what it's composed of. So you can get different grades based on the percentage that you score on your test. Now, anything below a 60% means you failed. Ooh, you did very poorly and you'll get an F.
And note, we do skip the letter E. We just simply don't use it. And in an American classroom, there are many more ways to get marks than just test scores. So the letter system helps teachers to factor all of these things into a student's final grade. So if you factor something, that means you take all these things into consideration. Different factors, that's the noun form, but here we're using it as a verb to factor something in. We often use this with the preposition in. Again, to consider all of these things at the same time.
Yeah, especially when you're trying to make a decision, you might want to consider or factor everything in together and not just look at one thing only. It's important to make a really good decision. Okay, everybody, it's just about time for our Chinese teacher, and then we'll be back.